Hello my friends! If this is your first time to my channel, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Emily and today we are going to be testing out the brand new Natasha Denona Mini Lila palette. Let's go ahead and hop right on into how I got this eye look and how I feel about this guy. So I just recently got the Natasha Denona Mini Lila palette in the mail. I got it yesterday and I am so freaking excited to try this on my eyes because I'm just so curious to know how these colors perform. As you can see, we're working with a lot of deeper tones in this palette. We have a purple, we have a plum, we have this gorgeous like purpley plummy indigo metallic. We have all sorts of beautiful goodness happening here in this palette, so I'm super excited to try it on my eyes. I don't have the original Lila palette. I almost bought it, but then I was like, bitch, put that down. Do not buy that. You bought the Sunset palette and you didn't even like it. Well, I liked it, but it wasn't worth the price tag. You know what I'm saying? So I talked myself out of the Lila palette back in the day, and I'm really happy that they came out with a mini version of the Lila palette. Now, the colors are not exactly the same, but they did come out with a mini sunset a while ago, and it's basically the same exact setup of this with just some more warm-toned colors. And they basically took some of the warm-toned browns from the original Sunset palette and put it into a mini palette. And I wasn't really jazzed about that because, girl, I don't want no warm-toned browns. But I'm really happy that they brought in some beautiful purples in this palette because you still do get a few kind of more toned-down shades over on the side of the palette. But you get these beautiful, like, plummy, purpley, delicious shades. So I can't wait to try this baby on the eyes. So this palette retails for $25 on the Sephora website, and you get 0.028 grams in each little pan here. So that makes for a total of 0.8 grams total. So the pan sizes are pretty tiny, but I would compare them to the size of Lorac pans in their usual palettes, or maybe even the Anastasia pans in the Modern Renaissance palette or the Subculture palette. They're pretty damn small, about the size of a dime or so, but I'm okay with that because I'm not spending $129 to be able to try these beautiful purples. I'm only spending 25 bucks, so I'm okay with the fact that there's not a whole crap ton of product in here because I don't need that much product, okay? And I'm someone who hits pan all the time, but I just don't need that much product for that price. Having a mini option like this is amazing in my opinion. So we're going to be testing this baby on the eyes today, but I'm going to go ahead and get started with just a little bit of white primer. I'm just using my NYX white base in white, just to get everything nice and even on the eyelids. So getting started today, I'm taking this BH Cosmetics Studio Pro No. 8 brush, which is a really short but fat kind of chubby blending brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and hop into the purple shade and pick up a decent amount. I'm going to be doing a halo eye today, and I've never really worked with tones that are this deep on my eyes. I've definitely used them before, but I've never worked with all deep tones like this palette before. So I'm really excited to create something kind of smoky and vampy. So we'll just have to see how this goes. There was a little bit of kick up in the pan, but nothing too crazy. And I'm just gonna start placing this on my outer V and just placing down that pigment right in the outer crease area. And bringing it in ever so slightly to the inner crease. And this purple shade is called Poisonberry, which I think is such a cool name. I believe that Sugar Pill has a shadow called Poisonberry as well. I really like the name of that for something that's a purple shade. I'm just popping the purple on the inner corner in the outer V, but I'm leaving the middle part of my eye completely bare because I will cut that out with concealer in just a little bit. And I'm just going to start to drag my brush from inner corner to outer corner to start to build up that crease shade. So repeating the steps on the other eye, just going to pop some of the purple shade called Poisonberry in on my inner V and popping some on the outer V as well, and just starting to kind of feather the inner corner and the outer corner together once I have placed down the pigment on the outer V. And of course, I'm not bringing this shade very high up. I'm keeping it basically right where I placed the color initially. I don't want to bring it high up into my crease because I will blend it out in just a little bit with another shade from the palette. Picking up a Morphe B80 brush, which is a smaller, more tapered blending brush, I'm going to go ahead and pick up this beautiful kind of cool-toned camel shade, which is called Flint. I am just going to start running this right over the edges of the purple to blend everything out. And so far I am losing a bit of the purple pigmentation from doing that. So I'm gonna have to go back in and re-intensify everything once I have this all blended. I don't really find that happening that much with some of my other shadows, but as you can see, it has faded quite a lot from me just blending the edges, which is kind of a bummer because I really want that differentiation of color to be able to really show, especially in a look like this. Jumping back in with my BH Cosmetics 8 brush, I'm going to pick up some more of this gorgeous purple shade, which was Poison Berry. I'm just going to pack that on my outer V yet again and my inner V and bring it together just like I did at the beginning, because I lost almost all of that purple pigmentation in the crease, which is very strange in my opinion because I've worked with purples before and that doesn't usually happen. So, we're looking a little bit patchy. I don't know if it's really going to translate as well on camera because I don't really use the best quality of camera. So I'm doing my best to blend everything and use a light hand and make sure everything's nice and smooth, but I am getting a little bit of patchiness right here in the outer corner, as you can see. It's like where I first placed down the purple, it doesn't want to blend out and look smooth. It wants to just stick right there, which is kind of abnormal for me because I've been using a lot of purple lately to really work into some sunset looks, and I haven't really experienced this yet. So I don't know if it's just because I'm going in with the purple on its own. Just something to keep note of, we're looking a little bit patchy here on the outer V, and on the outer V on the opposite side, and kind of in the crease as well. It's kind of just looking patchy all over, which is not cool because Natasha Denona is not cheap, my friends. So taking my Makeup Addictions Precise Blender brush, which is the brush I always use to do crease work, it's a very small, stiff blender brush that can get really deep into the crease and really do some intricate work. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the middle shade, which is this beautiful, like plummy brown kind of purple shade, which is called Raisin. I think the name describes this color perfectly because it really does look like the color of raisins. Except I hate raisins with every bane of my existence, but the color is really pretty so far. And I'm just going to start swirling this on the outer V and really intensifying everything in the outer V and the inner V and really giving some shape to the halo eye. I'm just going to tap this on the inner V and just start sweeping back and forth through the lower half of my crease, just like we did with Poison Berry earlier, to really intensify and deepen up the crease. And although I might hate raisins in real life so freaking much, I absolutely love this color. It really covered up any of the patchiness that I was having with Poison Berry, which is the purple shade that I first laid down. This color is beautiful. It's really plummy and smoky and it blended effortlessly. And I know that it's really hard to blend these kind of deeper, plummy, purpley shades. And this just blended itself basically. I barely had to spend any time blending this out, and I absolutely love this shade so far. And now picking up my ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Light 18, I'm going to go ahead and pop some of it right onto just a flat paddle brush. And then I'm going to start creating my cut crease here by just placing down some of the concealer right in between the outer V and the inner V, and just making a T shape to really get that halo eye effect. And I'm bringing this a little bit higher than my crease, but not too much higher. And I'm just going to blend everything out with my finger just to help the blending process a little bit later on when we try to mesh everything together. So taking my Makeup Addictions blender brush, I'm going to pick up a bit more of Raisin and just re-intensify the inner corner and the outer corner on both eyes. So jumping right on in with my Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadow brush, I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of the Linden, which is this beautiful kind of cool toned pale gold shade. It has a bit of a taupey undertone, so I think it works really nicely with the rest of the cool tones in this palette. Just going to start patting that right in the center of the halo eye because I'm going to be popping another shimmer on the outer V area of the halo eye. So I'm keeping the pale gold just right in the center. And so far, this is going on really nicely, super metallic, super smooth. I love the combination of colors with this almost taupey gray toned, cool toned gold. I really love that. That is just beautiful. I think it works so nicely with the rest of the color scheme that we have going on in this palette. And to mesh the purple together with the beautiful gold shimmer that we have going on, I just wiped off my Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadow brush on my Veramona color switch, and I'm going to go ahead and hop into this gorgeous metallic indigo purple shade, which is called Blue Dahlia. I absolutely love the name of this. Blue Dahlia, that's the cutest name for an eyeshadow ever. And I'm just going to start by placing this shade right in between where I placed Linen, the beautiful gold shade, and Raisin, which was that deep plummy kind of purpley brown shade. And repeating the same steps on the opposite side of the eye. I'm placing this right in between the purple and the gold on both sides of the halo eye. And honestly, I am not digging this as much as I thought I would. I may have just made a grave mistake here because now it's looking a little bit funky and a little bit crazy. What did I do? So just taking another flat synthetic brush, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of Linen and we're going to try and salvage this because I really liked the look before I went in with this shade, Blue Dahlia, that I was so excited about. I'm not really feeling the way this looks right now. But taking the beautiful golden kind of taupey, cool toned gold shade, I'm just going to start to basically mesh together the blue in with the gold because I want to blend together all of the madness that I've created here on the eyes and make everything look a little bit more cohesive because I feel like the blue just stood out way too much against the gold, and I really liked the way the eye look looked with just the gold, and I feel like the blue totally ruined it. Way to go, Emily. So now jumping back in with my Makeup Addictions Precise Blender brush, I'm going to go ahead and pick up some more of Raisin and pop that yet again on the outer corner and the inner V, just to deepen everything back up and to kind of reinforce where the halo eye is because it got a little bit covered by the blue shade. Okay, well, it's not my favorite thing I've ever done, and I don't think that it looks as good as it did before I put the blue on, but it's a little bit better. I've kind of salvaged it. But we're just going to finish the lower lash line here and keep on going because that's all you can do in life when you make mistakes. But I'm going to go ahead and hop in with my Morphe M578 brush, and we're just going to go ahead and pick up some of, we'll pick up Poisonberry again, which was that beautiful purple shade. And I'm just going to run this under the lower lash line. And taking the same brush, I'm just going to pick up a bit of Raisin and just popping this right on the outer V of the lower lash line. And finally, wiping everything off on my color switch, I'm jumping back into Flint and picking up a little of the Camel Brown shade. And I'm just going to run this underneath where Poisonberry was to tie everything together to the upper lash line. So I will be back in a hot minute here with some liner and some lashes and my final opinions on the Natasha Denona Mini Lila palette. So this is the finished look. I went ahead and just popped on some inner corner highlight. I just used the highlighter that I am wearing today as well as some liner and some lashes. And I gotta be honest, I do not like this look on me at all. Like, this is coming off as soon as I'm done filming this video, but to be honest, I was planning on taking it off anyway because I want to do a little spa day today and I want to treat my skin well because I've been wearing so much makeup lately, especially because I do make YouTube videos. So I'm just not super crazy about the colors on me altogether. Now, I could definitely see myself using Raisin and Poisonberry a lot, and Linen as well, which was that beautiful kind of cool toned taupey gold shade. I'm going to use those a lot on their own or mixed with some other shades. Personally, if I were to make my own palette like this, I would put in some pinks. I would definitely pair Poisonberry with like a hot pink or maybe even a lilac shade. I would go for something more in the colorful kind of pinky purple range, but I do see what Natasha was doing with this palette. It's very deep, it's very vampy, it's very smoky, it's very sultry, if you will, but on me and my specific skin tone and with my red hair and whatnot, I just don't really love this look on me. I definitely see people liking this. I feel like you can get some more toned down looks if you just stick to the two more neutral shades at the end here. You can get a very daytime appropriate look, and if you were to incorporate some of these more plummy tones at the end of the day, you can go from a day to night palette really quickly. So I think this color scheme is nice and I think the right person will love this, but for me, I'm just not overly jazzed about the colors because I feel like this color palette on my specific skin makes me look kind of sickly. So I don't want to look sickly, but I do like the purples. I really love Raisin. I think Raisin blended out amazingly and basically blended itself. Boysenberry I am not super crazy about, but I do love the color, and I think it is a very pigmented purple. It just doesn't blend as great as I would like it to. But I can pair it with some other shades, and I think I will still get a lot of use out of it because the tone of it is very beautiful. It's almost a kind of bright grapey kind of berry shade, but it just got patchy on me when I went to actually blend everything out, and I did have to keep building it up, but eventually it did get there. So I think if you've been eyeballing this palette, maybe go for it if this is your color scheme. I don't think it's the best thing in the world. I definitely don't think it's the most amazing formula in the world, and I'm happy that I did not purchase the entire Lila palette because I don't think that a full size of this would be worth anywhere near $129. I think that $25 for this palette is a decent price, and I'm not unhappy that I own it. I definitely think that I will get some use out of it, but I'm just gonna have to pair it with some other shades that personally I like a little bit better. But with that being said, that is gonna be wrapping up this little playtime first impressions here. I'm gonna go ahead and take my makeup off because, like I said, I'm not really loving it that much, and I want to have a little skin day and let my skin just do its thing. But I do hope that you were able to find this first impressions helpful. I hope that if you've been looking at the palette and you weren't exactly sure how it performs, I hope that this was able to give you a visual representation of how I was able to get the shadows to perform. But I do hope that you consider subscribing if you have not already. I have all sorts of makeup goodness happening here on this channel, so if you are not already subscribed and you would like to be, I would love to see you hit that button down below. I do also hope that you consider giving this video a big ol' thumbs up and hitting that notification bell down below if you enjoy my videos. And if you don't have to do any of that. But I hope you are having an absolutely amazing and fantastic day wherever you are, and thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you next time. Bye!